So I'm Professor Uehara, Vice Dean of the College of Policy Science. Nice to meet you. And today I'm going to introduce our college and also major, especially major, Community and Regional Policy Studies major. Okay. So firstly, we have 60 colleges at our university, and then CRPS major is part of College of Policy Science. We have two majors in this college. One is Policy Science major, which is a Japanese taught program, and then the CRPS major, which is an English taught program. Now, why CRPS? So I believe you have never heard of it before, but it's quite simple actually. So this is about problem-solving skills. Okay, and then that's it. So this is everything. And also, well, having said that, I would like to add one thing here. It's fun as well. It's not just listening to professors and reading books. Much more fun. And then what problems we are talking about, as you can see these pictures. So air pollution, traffic congestion, poverty, LGBTQ, any social issues of your interest, you can pick in this college, because we have professors with diverse backgrounds. Like for air pollution, we have a professor whose specialty is in environmental science, and also for poverty, well, we have economists. So we can cover these diverse social problems. And then, so the question is how you can acquire these problem-solving skills. We have 2 points to solve. Firstly, we have broad subjects to offer. As I mentioned, so we have professors with diverse backgrounds. That's from economics, law, political science, environmental science, sociology, literature even, and also some professors teaching music, not playing music, but about the theory or something about that, although I do not have much knowledge. So the second point is this policy seminar. I think it's quite unique to Japanese universities compared with universities in, for example, in the United States, where I used to teach. So regarding universities in the United States, you may listen to lectures and then take exams and also write reports. But here in Japan, we often have this seminar style teaching, in which you will select your topic of your interest and then you work on your project. And then our policy seminar has 2 characteristics. One is it's 2-year intensive program, meaning that in the 3rd year, you are going to select your topic or project to solve a social problem of your interest. The second point is that it's quite small. So each professor will accept up to 7 students, but usually we have 4 or 5 students. So that's why every week you have an opportunity to discuss with your advisor or professor over your own topic. So that's why it's quite intensive, and also I believe it's quite fun. And then here is an overview of our program, but I'm not going to delve into detail because it's too much, right? But so the point is that first, there are 3 points. First, so we have diverse subjects here from the 1st year up to 4th year, the last year. You can select many subjects depending upon what project you are working on. So it goes to the second point. So this is our college or program is a problem-based learning. So that's, as I mentioned before, you focus on your research or projects. So that's why when you take, for example, economics, you can think about how you can use economics, how you can apply economics to your own project, like poverty, how you can understand poverty issue in terms of economics, for example, or how you can analyze data or how you collect data. You can think about that when you take some subjects here, always. Okay. And then the 3rd point here is that you can learn Japanese. And then here, Japanese classes. This is a bit unique compared with other programs, meaning that so you will study a lot of Japanese classes. Our intention is that some of you guys want to get a job in Japan after graduation, and then I want you guys to be prepared for that in terms of Japanese language. So that's why we offer enough classes regarding Japanese. Then currently we have students from 11 countries, so including Asia and also the United States and Europe. So it's quite diverse. I mean, you can enjoy with people from all over the world, and also including some Japanese students as well here. And then support and opportunities, which will be explained later in detail, but let me touch on this a bit. So first thing is that you can have tuition remission, all of you guys, except for Japanese nationality. Okay, from a 20% discount up to 100%. Well, it depends upon how well you do in the entrance exam, basically. Okay, and then also the second point. So as she mentioned, next, so we offer several scholarship opportunities. That regarding the next, it's quite generous. Like, yeah, so 100% tuition remission, and also you can get paid for your living expenses. So that's why you can focus on your study throughout years staying in Japan. And then thirdly, we have a campus dorm close to this campus in Osaka. So again, you can focus on your research or project. And also since there are some Japanese students as well living there, so that's why you can mingle with Japanese students. And then hopefully, or I believe, you can make friends, Japanese friends. Having said that, you may wonder what's going to happen after graduation, which is quite important for you and also your parents. And then our program is quite unique in that 50% of alumni chose to go to graduate school after graduation. And then here are some examples of graduate schools they went to. And then you can see names, familiar names. So they are mostly ranked top 100 in the world. And also some students just chose to work right after graduation. And then there are some examples. Okay, so before closing, I'd like to spend some time on this. So when you choose your program to enter or enroll in, I want you to think about what qualification you are required to when you get a job. For instance, many students say that I want to get a job at United Nations, or I want to work for international organizations. And then I wonder if you know the qualifications you are required for getting a job there. And then it's not surprisingly, maybe, so it's not about international relations, but more about subjects. So this is just an example. So here is for research officer, and then education here, as you can see. So this is not about international relations, but social sciences, environmental sciences, criminology, etc. So that's why what you're required to acquire is some problem-solving skills. Because if you work for United Nations, you will see many problems to solve, social problems to solve. And then you are required to contribute to these problems. In a nutshell, first, you need to get a master's degree after graduation. And then, as I mentioned here, so you have lots of opportunities as our alumni shows here. And then secondly, so problem-solving skills are quite advantageous. Of course, it's important to know international relations or international politics, but that's not enough. You need to know some skills. You need to acquire some skills to solve real problems. Real social problems. Yeah. Then thank you very much for today joining us. And then I'm looking forward to seeing you on campus. Thank you.